Donald Trump is facing tons of lawsuits and investigations. He's filed a couple of lawsuits himself against individuals, and it's kind of hard to keep track of. But recently, The Hill actually put out a list of all of the major things that Donald Trump is facing, including, by the way, several I didn't even know existed. And they gave us updates. So I wanted to take a moment and talk about some of these big investigations and lawsuits that are still going on that could severely impact Donald Trump's future in American politics and, of course, his future as a free man here in the United States. The two big ones that everybody knows about and everybody's aware of what's happening, obviously the New York investigation and the January 6th investigation. Don't really need updates on those. We know Alvin Bragg, even though the prosecutors that worked with him and the former DA all said, yeah, we've got evidence of criminal behavior, we want to indict him. Bragg has basically said, nah, we're not going to do that, I'm a lazy piece of crap. We also have New York Attorney General Letitia James. Donald Trump is still fighting to not have to comply with the subpoenas, to not have to sit for depositions, and that's where that one lies. That, of course, is only a civil trial. She is not seeking criminal charges against Donald Trump. With the January 6th committee, of course, we have all kinds of investigations, right? The fake electors, the inciting a riot, which, of course, D.C. Attorney General Karl Racine is also investigating because Donald Trump is being sued for that. So there's another investigation from the other investigation and a lawsuit related to that, but I will give an update on the Trump being sued for possibly inciting a riot. I don't think it's going to be successful. And I've said that from the beginning. I support it wholeheartedly. I love it. I think it's great. I also do not think it has a chance in hell because you cannot prove intent that Donald Trump wanted these people to go and riot. Yes, he said fight like hell. But fight like hell could mean protesting. Fight like hell could mean voting. Fight like hell could mean becoming an activist and getting involved in local politics. So it could mean so many different things. Vagueness always goes to the person being accused. Donald Trump wins that, I think, pretty easily, actually. The other one, or other ones, federal investigators are looking at whether Trump mishandled classified documents. Now, there's a big one, right? This is a big one that carries a potential penalty of up to, I think it is 6 years in prison. Could also, if he is found guilty, bar him from ever holding public office again in the future. 15 boxes of official records that Trump was legally required to turn over were recovered from his Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida. That investigation is with the DOJ. It is still ongoing, so we do not have any real updates on that one other than it carries big penalties for Donald Trump. Mary Trump suing her uncle for allegedly defrauding her from the family inheritance. That's one we've talked about in the past. Donald Trump wanted to cut Mary out of the family's inheritance, so she has sued him. Lawsuit is ongoing. It's currently at the New York State Supreme Court. And we wish Mary Trump the best of luck with that. Hopefully she can get the money that she is entitled to as a member of the Trump family. You have E. Jean Carroll's sexual assault lawsuit. Now this is the big one to me. And it's a big one because it's just a defamation lawsuit. But if E. Jean Carroll wins, it will mean that she and her lawyers, her legal team, were able to prove that Donald Trump raped her. They're not going to seek criminal charges. The statute of limitation, of course, has passed on that. But if you could prove that this man legitimately raped somebody, that could easily put an end to his entire career, to his entire business, to everything this man has ever built. This is the big one. And of course it's big because we want E. Jean Carroll to get justice. Again, statute of limitations has already come and passed, so she's not going to be able to throw him in jail for this, but she could absolutely destroy him for the remainder of his life. Donald Trump actually tried to countersue her, and a judge recently threw that out. That is the latest in that case. The case is still pending in New York. Former personal attorney Michael Cohen is suing Donald Trump for allegedly retaliating against him. Michael Cohen, as we all know, was in jail. He was allowed to leave early, and then he wrote that book. And then Donald Trump's DOJ came out and said, hey, he's not allowed to write a book, throw him back in jail. And they did, because they were mad that Cohen wrote this tell-all book about Donald Trump. I think that's a pretty solid case. That one is still pending in court. A Trump Tower lawsuit, this is the one where Donald Trump actually sat for a deposition last October. That's the one where he learned that he lives in constant fear of people throwing fruit and pies at him. And the lawsuit alleges that he had told his security guards to go outside and rough up a bunch of protesters in 2015. Again, we've had depositions. We are now waiting for that case to go to trial. Doe versus the Trump Organization. This is the class action lawsuit that was filed in 2018. This is where they were hyping up that video phone thing, like ACN, Donald Trump, his kids. We're hyping this up as the next big thing. It's a great, wonderful investment. Whole thing basically turned out to be a pyramid scheme. Donald Trump and his kids walked away with a ton of money. The investors lost millions. But they were promised by Trump as the greatest investment ever. So class action lawsuit suing him for knowingly hyping a fraudulent product. And then, of course, tenants are suing Trump for hiking the prices at Trump Tower. This is a lawsuit filed in New York State Supreme Court. Tenants who lived in a building once owned by Trump's father say the Trump family hiked rents by inflating prices for appliances. That one was actually just received an amended complaint filed this past March. It is still pending. There's not a whole lot of movement on that. That's a lot to digest, folks, but those are some of the biggest cases right now pending against Donald Trump, all of which are awaiting a resolution, some of which do have the potential to destroy this man forever, and I wish every single person suing Donald Trump the best of luck in court.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.